So this is a kind of unusual thing. I haven't seen this in probably close to 20 years. Where the snow is like, it's not really snow, it's just, it has been freezing rain. So, freezing rain piled up. It's kind of weird. Because you'd think you'd sink through it, but you don't. It's a beautiful day, actually. And exercise makes me feel better. It's so upsetting what I'm going through now. And it's just so unfair. You know, you gotta love your family, and I don't really have much of a family. And my father wrote how disappointed he was that his own relatives never helped him. His sister and his brother could have lent him a car or helped him get a car. Instead, I'm renting a car with the little money I was making working while taking care of him. And the car kept breaking, and Andreas kept asking for money. And my dad had depleted everything he had for Andreas. And yet Andreas just keeps wanting to take and take and take. And it's sad because he doesn't even understand that the quicker he gets his shit out of the studio, the sooner I can get an insurance appraiser and art dealers to come and look at the paintings to buy them, you know. And he's just prohibited my father from having a career with galleries. He just took all my dad's shit and just shoved it in the basement. And my dad ended up getting cancer and get really sick. And he never took care of my dad. So I was the only one who was able to take care of him. I had a few friends who helped out, and I'm very grateful for that. And thank you, offering us a ride when you could, dropping by with groceries. And Eddie, I want to thank you especially because I know you gave us a ride to and from the city that time a couple times, and it was so nice of you. And I know you're in pain, and that was hard for you. And that was more than my own cousins ever did. And I know that David, you came by a couple times and gave my dad a check for $600, and it was real nice. But you know, you'd expect someone to call you just to see how you're doing. You know, you'd expect someone to say, "Oh, my condolences, I'm sorry Dad died," or something. Or, you know, to try to help me out, because I'm left with a lot of debt and I'm paying it, you know. But yeah, it's just disappointing when you don't have like a really cohesive, functional family. And I think my dad's decision to continually support my brother and bail him out of jail, and really unfairly depend completely on me, alienated a lot of our relatives and our family because they just couldn't understand how he can keep enabling my brother's mental illness. So, you know, I think some people who are already kind of simple as it is, it's just too much for them to understand the unconditional love a father has for a son. But my father was suffering and in a lot of pain, and did not make the best decisions financially, and did not have the ability to pursue his career. So it's up to me to continue his legacy. He's the best artist I've ever known, that I've ever seen alive. And his paintings are truly extraordinary, and the world, you know, needs to see that and appreciate it, because he really gave a lot and created a lot. And he did everything he could for Andreas to be out of prison. And Andreas just kept abusing his generosity and his kindness and manipulating us, saying, "Oh, he's got a felony, he can't find a job, and he's got to register as a sex offender, and all these girls are making up stories about him. And the music industry is treated unfairly." And meanwhile, his music sounds horrible. It sounds like an ADD fiasco. It sounds like someone has an attention deficit disorder and keeps changing the channel from one hip hop station to the next. And he stole my dad's credit cards and went out on these shopping sprees, and he's pretending that he was on stage when actually he paid to be on stage. He paid to do all those quote unquote quasi performances where you pay to be on a VIP, or, you know, all those pictures he has with celebrities, because he would pay to go into the VIP, $4,000 a ticket or whatever, and ask my dad for money repeatedly. Ask my dad for money to pay for his venues and all sorts of crap, and it was just so unfair, because my parents knew that he was a little slow and that the kids in school bullied him, and when I wasn't around, he didn't have a role model anymore. That's why we became so different, and he just was left alone a lot, because my parents felt bad for him. But just want everybody to know the things you saying about me are not true. I'm not a drug addict. I'm not on methadone. I don't go to a methadone clinic. I've been taking care of my dad, and it's just been really sad because that's been the focus. I've had to quit many jobs to do that. I've had to take family medical leave twice, really stunting any kind of career I had to take care of my dad. And it's just unfortunate. But I chose to do that because I loved my dad and no one else was going to take care of him. We didn't have anybody else, especially not my brother. So, he's out there making false statements about me and saying some really fucked up shit. And, I don't mean to tell the world that he has all these things on his record, but it's the truth, and it should be known what the truth is, because he's trying to ruin my life and refuses to accept the fact that my dad didn't leave him anything. My dad left him absolutely nothing. He left it up to me, to my discretion, if I ever want to help him financially, when and if I make sales of any artwork. And that's it, and that's the best I can do for him. He's never helped me with anything. He's never paid the bills here. He's never paid for everything. Now I've been paying the mortgage here, all the other bills, the heating, the oil, everything else. And, try to do the best I can. And he's scared my wife half to death. He's scared my friends away and my neighbors. And just awful. He made a false statement that he was living here and made up some phony order of protection after I told him not to sell the cameras he stole. And the police had no choice but to forcibly vacate me from my house, which I went to the judge the next day and I explained, oh, no, that's false, that's wrong. So now we have this and the other court thing regarding the estate going on. So all these things are just totally unnecessary and unfortunate when you lose your dad. I already lost my mom to cancer, and you're grieving to have a mentally ill brother who's so disturbed. I mean, the first thing he did when he got out of the army was try to test out his killing skills on me, and I would just have to wrestle him and subdue him and do my best not to hurt him every time he would attack me, and he would do it repeatedly, even after, I back up. He's something really wrong in the head, and he keeps saying that people are vandalizing his car wherever he goes, and I've seen it many times. He comes back with a smashed windshield or a dent, and it's always somebody else's fault. It's always not his fault. But I've seen how he goes around. I see how he carries himself, and he makes enemies wherever he goes. So I just hope that he gets the help that he needs, and that he understands that I love him, but I cannot allow him to stay here. He doesn't need to stay here, and whatever money the small money from an insurance settlement he's going to get was my decision to allow him that, because my father actually didn't want him to have that. He wanted that money to go to me. So he's just really sick, and it's upsetting. So, all right, I've said my journal entry for today. Thank you.